Yes, guys, so we're back finally with another Blackpool FC update because there's a lot that's been going on since my last Blackpool FC update thousands of years ago. So much has happened. Obviously, I'm not getting all too much into that. I'm more focusing on what's going on now, what's going on after, Critchley's gone, Appletons come in. There's stuff going on with the board, and the fans are not really on board with what's going on at the minute. But I want to try and settle things down, break it down to what's actually going on. Because people are getting too ahead of themselves, too caught up in our position in the league at the minute, given we're just one place above the relegation zone, which is not ideal at all. But I don't think that's a true reflection on the club, the team, the manager, and what's going on at the time. And I think it's just early on in the season, trying to, we've got a young team, trying to build, and I think it'll all come good. But to start, there's only one place that we can start with this, and that is plain and simple. The manager, Niel Critchleys, is gone. It went somewhat in the summer, just out of the blue. No one expected it. One day I was just chilling in the sun, and my brother just come to me and went, "Jay, Critchley's gone." And I was like, talking rubbish. But yeah, it was true. The most disappointing part is that we spent the whole of last year and the year before, we built this really strong connection with the manager, which I hadn't seen in any other club. I thought it was brilliant, honestly. I love this manager. And he just left us with nothing. He didn't say anything about us. He didn't say that he was going. We just heard from the club. He didn't have anything to say about it. And he spent all that time, I went to Stoke City away, and he stood there for about a minute, just, tapping the badge and clapping the fans and doing all this. But if you can just ditch us all without saying anything, did it really mean anything? Was he just playing up? And I'm not sure. I don't really have an answer for that. I hope that he wasn't, and he did really have a bond with us that I thought was good, and we was playing good football, and the fans could get behind it. But he's gone now, and we moved on, and that's what we tried to do. And the board, this is where I'm coming to next. The fans have a problem with the board and the money that's being spent and stuff. And apparently, I've seen it all over Twitter that we didn't invest enough and the summer wasn't good. But I can't understand it. I think we made about 8 signings, and we got a loan player from Wolves, a loan player from Liverpool, a loan player from Manchester City. These are great clubs. That Leeds United. We bought so many. We got in so many players from the Prem level. We bought Dom Thompson from Brentford. We bought Charlie Wright from... No, not Charlie. Yeah, Callum Wright from Leicester. These are all Prem teams that we're getting players from that can only improve our squad. And Charlie Patino, Jesus, I missed him out, from Arsenal. These are good signings. These with the budget that we have to focus on loan players. We have a big we rely on them a lot, and we've managed to get the best of the best of what's coming from the Prem. Like Arsenal, Manchester City. It's top stuff. And the players that we've signed, Callum Wright, we signed him from Leicester. Dom Thompson, we've signed him from Brentford. And I think these are quality players. The philosophy clearly is bringing young players with a lot of potential. That if we do actually sign the players, that we can sell them on for more money, like we've done with Bowler, which is a prime example of what we can do, what we're trying to increase our revenue by, but step by step, keep increasing it. Because I listened last year to a fans forum thing where Ben Mansford was talking about this is the kind of thing that we might have to do. We can't just say here and say, no, we're not a selling club, because we might have to be a selling club because we don't get the revenue in. It's hard for us, but at least there's a template there. A bit like he used Brentford as an example to build your players up, build your money up so you get better players and keep that improving. And that's all that we can ask for as fans. As long as we're doing what we can do at the peak of what we can do, then we have to be happy, because we are not, we don't have the budget of Sheffield United or anyone like that. But if we have a good team one season, that's all we need. We need a good team one season to click so we can get into them playoffs. And once we're in the playoffs, we've got every chance of winning. It's 3 games. We've done it before. We're the kings of the playoffs. We've got every chance of getting into the Prem, and then that's a different story. It can change the whole club it can change the course of history, that one season of us getting into the Prem. And I think that's what we're hunting for. That's what we're trying to get. But this season, it's not about that. It's about staying in there again and seeing if we can improve again next year with the players that we have, which hopefully we can do. This brings me on now to the manager, Michael Appleton. I like him. I have to say that I like him. A lot of Blackpool fans, they don't like him. They're not convinced anyway. I don't know if they don't like him or whatever, but they're not convinced. But I like it. I think we play good football. The 4-3-3 formation that we're using, I like it. The one criticism I could say is I think sometimes he's a bit set in his ways and sometimes we can adapt a bit more, but I always think that. I always think if the game's not working, you've got to change, and sometimes he doesn't change, but you got to stick to your guns sometimes, so fair play to him, I would do. But all in all, I think his interviews, what he says about the players is just almost always spot on. I think he's honest. I think he's got us playing a good way. I think he knows what to do with the youngsters. He knows how to use his loan players. He's done it with like the likes of Brendan Johnson and stuff like that for Lincoln. And they was a good team when we beat them in the playoffs. He got them overachieving. And we can look at that as a blueprint and say, yeah, he knows what he's doing. And I think the players have got brought on, they're on board with it. And we've been playing some good football. And it's what we need to see. And it's what I like to see anyway. Sometimes the results haven't gone our way, but it's still early in the season. You know, we're halfway through October now. I'm recording this and we've just lost to Hull, which was a poor performance. But with the suspensions that we've just had and the injuries that we've got and the fact that we played on Saturday and we played the last 20 minutes with 9 men, you know, that's got to take a toll on the players. And, you know, I don't even think the fans were up for the game. Never mind the players, but this will all change on Saturday. But we'll get to that in a bit because you know what's going on Saturday. But yeah, I think I like him. I'm a big fan of Appleton. And let's hope that long may my liking for Appleton continue, because that means that we must be doing something right. You know, the team at the moment, we'll get on to this now. My favourite 11, I've got to say, Maxwell in goal. I see no problem with it. I know Grimshaw did nothing wrong, honestly. He did nothing wrong, but Maxwell's our captain, which means he's a leader, and we don't have that many leaders in the back line, and he's just as good a shot stopper as Grimshaw. In my opinion, he's just as good. So he's just got that added leadership, the added experience that he can control his back line. It's quite a young back line if you think. Sometimes we've got Gabriel, Marv, who's not that big of a talker. I know sometimes he's our captain, but you don't really hear him that much. I mean, I sit in the North Stand, I don't really hear him, but when Maxwell plays, you hear him. Thornley's like a silent type, but, you know, I love Thornley, but he's not the biggest leader. And then at left back, we've either got Garber or Don Thompson, and Thompson's young and a bit rash sometimes, you know. I think I like Maxwell there. And then the left back, I'd like to see Garber, mate. I know he didn't have the greatest game yesterday against Hull, but all last year, I really rated him. I think going forward, he gives us something completely different. And going back, he's aggressive. I think I don't see make many mistakes. So for me, Garber is the one. I know we've got this Lions coming in next year, in January though, so we'll have to see. We'll have 3 left backs then, plus Husband who can play left back. So we'll have to see what happens with that next year. I'm excited. Well, not even next year. Come January. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. But my 2 favourite centre backs, I'm not convinced by this Williams from Liverpool, this lone player. I'm not convinced by him at all yet. I think Thornley and Marv should be the 2 pairing. And if we ever go to 3 at the back, I think then you can bring Williams in, because we have done that at times in there. But it didn't work, and it has worked. It worked against Huddersfield when I was at the game, but it's not worked since, and I think he scrapped it off. But in terms of the philosophy, you can see sometimes we go bang, we go for the high press, you know. Charlie Patino and whoever else is playing in the midfield can bomb on. You know, we did it for the first 20 minutes against Blackburn, and we honestly look, this is like the best I've ever seen Blackpool play. I could not believe my eyes. I couldn't believe we'd not scored. I couldn't believe we was dominating the game so much with our possession. They couldn't get a sniff, and then they just played one ball through the middle. Brereton Diaz obviously slots away. He's one of the best players in the Championship, and the game changed, and we just lost a bit of confidence, lost the momentum, and and then we was just chasing the game from then on, and it was a different game. But that first 20 minutes gives me hope anyway that this is where the team can go. You know, there's room there, there's a basis to improve on, and if we get more confidence, maybe a few better players in like next seasons, because I think Appleton will be here for a while, then this is the kind of football that we can play on a regular basis, and I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, the three centre mids that we play with, it varies. You know, Callum Wright sometimes plays, Kenny Dougal, Charlie Patino's a starter every game. Fiorini, who's injured, I like him. You know, Kev Stewart, I wish he was back. But Kenny's been playing well, but I think our best midfield would be Kevin Stewart, Fiorini and Charlie Patino. But, you know, I don't mind if any other players play there. Kenny Dougal, you know, Callum Wright. Even if Keshman, the Keshi, if he comes back from his injury, I wouldn't mind seeing him in that middle. You know, a bit of creative play, you know, because sometimes we struggle to score goals. It feels like we either score 3 goals or we don't score any at all. So a bit of creativity in the middle, I wouldn't mind that. And then the front three, I think Pervader's a good option off the bench. I think Corbiny, he's really good. He's not Josh Bowler, but he's as close as we could have got to him. You know, he drives at plays, he takes them on, and 7 times out of 10, it works. Maybe 6 times out of 10, it does work. So I'm happy if he loses the ball every now and again, that's fine, because he's got to try stuff, hasn't he? And he's crazy in the way that he moves. Like, he just wiggles, doesn't he? He just gets past people. And then the strikes up for Shane. I like seeing Shane on the left. I've enjoyed it. Medina, if Medina's fit, he has to play for me. He gives us that out ball, and when we're sat back and we play the long ball, as long as we've got players around him, he has to play. And obviously, the main man, Jerry Yates, he's my favourite player. He's my favourite footballer, never mind just Blackpool player. I can't say anything else. I love this guy, you know. If I'll show you my lock screen, Bosh, Jerry Yates, my guy, my number 9. The striker, he can do anything. He can run at players, he can hold the ball up, he can finish, headers, he's a poacher. He's everything I could ever want. And he really feels like he's connected with the fans, with the club. You know, I have nothing more to say. I love that bloke. But I am obviously biased as a Blackpool fan, but I think he's sick. And then I'm going to move on to some games now where we've seen different sides of Blackpool. So the Norwich game, Swansea game and the Blackburn game are all games where I thought we've got no points out of that, and I think we could have. You know, we played well enough to at least get a point in all of them. But we just couldn't find that goal, and that changes the league table, it changes everything. But we have had performances like Rotherham and Hull where we have been dire. Like, we have played rubbish. And it always looked like it was just lacklustre. It was always midweek. It was like we was trying, but we had not. It felt like we had nothing in the tank, and it was a hard watch. But then you've got games like the Watford game and the Sheffield United game and the Burnley game where we've looked electric. We've looked really on it, and if we can see more of them games, you know, beating Watford, they've just come from the Prem. We should have beat Sheffield United. I don't even want to get into that because I'm fuming just thinking about it. That ref was dire. It wasn't about the red cards and whatever. It was the fact that he lost the game completely. His decisions of not giving us free kicks were awful. Their goal even shouldn't have counted at the end. Like, it was a foul on the keeper, and then they have 3 players offside right in front of him, so he couldn't see. Like, that shot that went in was just in the middle of the goal. Maxwell would just pick that up if he hadn't got fouled. He picked it up like that. Blackpool win the game. Easy as that. 3 points. Dushark. But nah. He just lost the game completely. If anybody watched the game or anything, you would understand what I mean. It was absolutely mental. But what can you do? We are little Blackpool. It happens all the time. We're probably going to see it again. But yeah, these games are the type of games where we feel up for it. You know, every big game so far, it's like the players are up for it, and the smaller games against the Rotherham and the Hull, I think maybe we come and we think we're going to win, and we don't turn up at our full potential, and then we don't. But hopefully That changes on Saturday, the 22nd, early kick-off against Preston. I'm going to be there, and I'm excited for it, but obviously it's a derby game. I'm nervous, very nervous, because if we lose, that'll be me gone. Nobody want to be near me if we lose, but if we win, I'll be the happiest man in the universe. Honestly, I'm taking my mates, I'm taking my brother. It's going to be a good day. Hopefully it's a great day though. Hopefully it's one remember, just like last year, 2-0, or one of the best days of my life that year, that game. Hopefully we get the win. The players are up for it. I'm praying for a Jerry Aches goal. I'll lose my head if we do. And we can give some stick to them scum, because just cause I hate them. I just hate them. We just gotta win. You've got to win that. If we win that, the whole game goes out the window. Nobody even remembers about that whole game. It's all about Saturday, and I think we're going to be up for it. I think it's going to be another 2-0 win. I pray. To end the video, if anyone's made it this far, then you must be a Blackpool fan. If you are, then subscribe to a channel who I think is brilliant. It's called H Ramos, and he does Blackpool FC vlogs. He vlogs nearly every game, and I watch every video. I think they're really entertaining. The camera quality is good. He really tries. You know, you can see the highlights of the game from his vlogs. You know, you see what the game was actually like, how the game actually went, and you get a real sense of the atmosphere, because he loves the atmosphere. He's in and around the north stand, and he goes into the away ends. And yeah, it's a good channel, and I would definitely recommend it, especially if you're a Blackpool fan, or even if you're not and you just want to see what it's like, because we do have the best fans in the world, and we are the only team in football in tangerine and white. And I'm going to end the video there. I've enjoyed doing it, so I'm sure I'll make another one. If people don't want to see it, tough, it's going out anyway. I'm not really sure who's going to watch this. If people do like it, then please let me know in the comments. And yeah, up the pool.